Welcome to episode 225 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm going over why Tom Brady can get his 7th Super Bowl ring and why the Buccaneers, I think, could go on a Super Bowl run this year. As you guys can see, not on my typical scenery, having the Lucky Charms box in my background in Colorado for vacation. Also, hope whatever you guys celebrated, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever the hell it was, hope you had a good time and have a good new year coming up. But getting into the video, Bucs had, I don't want to say a super defining win against the Detroit Lions, but a very dominant win against the Detroit Lions, and I like to see that as a indicator of how they will perform further along in the season and incoming to the playoffs. Yes, I think all of us NFL fans, Bucs fans or not, Tom Brady fans or not, could easily agree that the Bucs have one of the most stacked rosters in the NFL. Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, LaShawn McCoy, Antonio Brown, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. It doesn't stop. Defense, amazing pass rush, Shaq Barrett, JPP, Ndamukong Suh. Secondary's weak, but the roster overall is very well-rounded. So I think we all had big expectations when that all formed and coming into this season. But as the season went on, we saw some bad games. We saw Tom Brady have a horrible not even really Tom Brady. The Bucs overall have a horrible first half against the Chiefs. Made someone to come back, but still lost. But it was an overall competitive game. Against the Saints, lost twice to them. Against the Rams, lost to Jared Goff. Never a good day if you lose to Jared Goff. That kid, he's so inconsistent. It's just hard to take a loss to Jared Goff. And then we lost to Nick Foles and the Bears on Thursday Night Football. So, yes, there's some tough losses along the way. Goddamn, my shoulder's tired. But there's some not tough, but some good wins as well. We beat the Packers very dominantly, 28-10. I say we because, yes, I am a Bucs fan. And we played the Raiders pretty well. I know the Raiders aren't even a playoff team anymore. They're probably going to finish like 7-9. But Raiders are at some point a team to talk about as being a playoff team. So the Bucs did beat them. And my biggest consensus of why I think the Bucs and Tom Brady could get his seventh ring is if we look at the stats of Tom Brady, he has 36 touchdowns and 11 interceptions this year. A lot of people called him washed up, said he's not the same Tom Brady, said he can't do what he used to do. However, if you look at Tom Brady's overall career, most touchdowns he's thrown in a season, I believe, is 50. But that's when he had Randy Moss. His second most is 39. And then his third most is 36 about 2 or 3 times. And he's getting 36 this season and has one more game left. So he's going to possibly get the second most touchdowns he's ever had in a single season at 43 years old. That doesn't sound like or look like washed up to me by any means. Yes, this might be one of the most stacked rosters he's ever had. But overall, no matter if you want to nitpick him or not, it's still a reputable statistic to definitely represent for Tom Brady. And I definitely give him credit for that. He hasn't done that on the Patriots in a very long time. In his defense, he hasn't had the receiving core he has on the Patriots in a very long time. But he does now. Now, if we look at the win he got on Saturday, Bucs won 47-7 over the Detroit Lions. Yes, Detroit Lions don't have Matt Stafford. Yes, the Detroit Lions lost their head coach and GM. Not sure that's a knock because they suck. They want to get rid of them. And I understand it's the Detroit Lions, 47-7. The Bucs should have won by that many points. However, if you look at the Bucs this season, every single game that they should have won dominantly against the Falcons, against the Vikings, against the Panthers, they seem to make it a lot closer than it should be. And this was the first game you see that they actually came out and showed their full potential, what the Bucs can truthfully be, which is what I love to see. Tom Brady threw 4 touchdowns, and the backup came in and threw 2 other touchdowns on his own. So you got to figure if Tom Brady wasn't in, he could have had 5 or 6 touchdowns at least. But if you just think about that, I understand that they might not put up 47 points. Tom Brady might not throw 4, 5, 6 touchdowns against a playoff team. It was the Lions. But it is a progressive thing you want to see. You much rather see him win 47-7 than a tight 20-17 for sure. If you look at the NFC picture, you got the Packers more than likely being the number 1 seed. But for the rest of the team, for the rest of the league, you got the Saints who are slowly declining. I mean, they're getting injuries. Drew Brees has got a soft-served arm at this point. Alvin Kamara is an absolute tank. If you got him on your fantasy team, just go ahead and tell the guy you want your money now because, boom, 56 points for you right out of the gate. 6 touchdowns for the dude, 155 rushing yards and a couple catches. Amazing stat and amazing line for Alvin Kamara. Definitely upped his case for Offensive Player of the Year. It's going to be hard for him to outbeat Derrick Henry, but it's definitely possible for him. Not the point of the video, though. It's Tom Brady and the Bucs. So I think the Saints, as Drew Brees is slowly declining, and the Bucs having the best pass or rushing defense in the league, can finally stop Drew Brees and the Saints if they meet in the playoffs. They lost twice to him in the league this year. I find it very hard to believe that Tom Brady's going to get swept 3 times by Drew Brees. Anything can happen, but I truly think if they match up again, Tom Brady's got his number this time. You got the Seahawks. Yes, it's DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but outside of that, their defense has been on and off with Carlos Dunlap and Jamal Adams being great additions for the Seahawks. I do think the Bucs pass rush can rattle Russell Wilson enough. He's not doing good under pressure this year. Yes, Russell Wilson is a top 3 quarterback in my opinion, but the Bucs pass rush, if they could turn it on, I think can rattle them and keep them to a low-scoring game with 17-20, 21-24, and the Bucs can put up 24, 28, 30 and get a good win if they play the Seahawks. Rams. We played hard against the Rams, 27-24, I believe, was the final score, and arguably that was one of our worst days of football. Tom Brady, I believe, had 2 interceptions that game, and they had no pressure on Jared Goff. If you just flip any of those things, have one less takeaway, have one more sack, the game is a complete different ball game. So if 1 out of 10, if the Bucs, 10 being the best, if they played about 3 or 4 out of 10 against the Rams, if they could just even play a 5 to 6, I think they could definitely take the Rams this time. Washington football team, great young team that has foundation between Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, and Chase Young. Not their year yet. I mean, they're going to finish 9-7 at the best. I'm not really going to make a huge case why the Bucs can beat them. I think it's very understandable that they can. Then you have the Cardinals, if they even make it, or the Bears. So to me, I know it seems like I'm just knocking out every team and being like, oh, the Bucs have no issues themselves. Yes, the Bucs have problems, but this progress they're showing is it's just exactly what you want to see right at the end of the season. You want to go into the playoffs having confidence. You don't want to go in like the Steelers, who are probably going to be 0-5 in their last games, straight into the playoffs. You want to be the Bucs, where you're on a rally, have like a 4 or 5 game win streak heading into the playoffs. And yes, you won't have home field advantage because you're likely going to have to play either the Washington football team or Seattle Seahawks or Los Angeles Rams, more than likely out of those 3 teams. But like I just said, none of those games are going to come easy, but I definitely think it is possible. Biggest issue to me is Green Bay Packers going into Green Bay. Tom Brady, he's used to the cold, being in Foxborough, but that rest of that Tampa team, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown might be used to it. Pittsburgh, Rob Gronkowski's used to it because he was in Foxborough as well. But your other guys, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, those dudes, even Bruce Arians, and that defense is not used to being in that super cold weather, and that's Aaron Rodgers' biggest edge. However, if the Bucs can just limit Davante Adams, I don't care if you have to double team him, triple team him, quadruple team him, shut down that man, Buccaneers have a win in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is arguably the best quarterback in the league. However, his offense is, in a way, I don't want to say is one-dimensional completely, but it is one-dimensional reliably, meaning without Davante Adams, you don't have a lot much more. He doesn't have a lot more. Yes, he could put up points otherwise, but efficiently and to their max potential, it comes from Davante Adams. Aaron Jones has a solid run game. However, but like I said, Bucs have the number 1 rushing defense. I like the Bucs making the Super Bowl. I get that's a bold take, especially how they've been playing the season, but just being these underdogs, having the greatest coach of all time, if they can just let, you know how like LeBron coaches the Lakers and any team he's on, you kind of almost want to tell Bruce Arians, take a step back. Tom Brady knows what he's doing. He has 6 rings. I don't want to say let him coach the team, but let him make the calls. If it's down to 2 calls and you don't know which to go with, let Tom Brady make his call. I just think Bucs on paper have the best offense in the league, even better than the Chiefs on paper, between Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronkowski, Scotty Miller, Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy, Ronald Jones. On paper, that is better than the Chiefs' offensive weapons. Yes, the Chiefs are more in their prime, have less injuries to them, and I love Tom Brady, but Patrick Mahomes is much better than him right now. They have the new up-and-coming GOAT quarterback, but on paper, Bucs do have the best offensive roster, I think, in the NFL. Defense, amazing pass rush, amazing run defense, solid. I can't even call it solid. Their secondary is weak. But like I said, if you have a team like the Green Bay Packers where they only have 1 weapon, if you could double team them, the rest is pretty much open game and in Tom Brady's hands. I like Tom Brady to make the Super Bowl. Yes, it's a bold take. Yes, I'm going to roll with that take. I think Tom Brady will get his 7th ring, set NFL record. He already has, but fully establish him as a GOAT. If you don't think he is, you're stupid, especially if he gets a 7th ring. Love Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I understand this is a bold take, but what you think of this bold take? If I'm missing something, I just think between Tom Brady's washed up season. Him and Bruce Arians finally figuring out, them finally dominating a weak team, which they haven't been able to all year. They finally did this time. They're progressing. 1 week left of the regular season against the Falcons, but I think they'll pull away with the win and hopefully slide in at the 5th seed of the playoffs and match up with Washington first round, but we'll never know. Let me know what you guys think. 2-minute warning. Have a good New Year's.